This is a presentation on participatory vendor selection for information systems. Deciding on a vendor for information systems in a large healthcare organization is often frustrating due to the large number of people with varying opinions. By using the participatory vendor selection approach, organizations can come to a consensus on the vendor they would prefer to use more efficiently. There are 7 steps used to bring a group to a consensus when selecting a vendor for information systems. The first step is to invite relevant stakeholders to participate in the process. The second step is to conduct one-on-one interviews with each stakeholder involved in the process. This is done to establish each stakeholder's preferences and then establish a model based on their preferences. The third step is to gather the stakeholders as a group to meet and review a consensus model that was created based on the individual interviews. The fourth step is for the group to establish a scoring procedure to accompany the revised consensus model. Step 5 has the group discuss their major differences, clarify their assumptions, and redo the scoring procedure. The sixth step has the group measure the vendors on various criteria and then uses the consensus model created by the analyst to establish one overall score for each vendor. In the seventh step, the analyst documents the consensus model the group has decided upon, along with the scores the vendors have received, and distributes the information among the entire organization. The first expert interviewed was the Chief Financial Officer of the organization. This table represents the preferences gathered from the one-on-one interview with the CFO. The attributes that the CFO felt were important to consider in the decision-making process were ease of use, cost, and compatibility. Then levels of each attribute were established, ranging from the best and worst level of the attribute. For example, the best level for ease of use was entering the average patient encounter in 1 minute, and the worst level being entering the average patient encounter in 5 minutes. The CFO was then asked to rate the importance of each level using the double-anchored estimation method. The best level was assigned a score of 100 and the worst level a score of 0. Each level in between was rated as well. The analyst then assigns a weight to each attribute to represent the vendor's overall desirability across all attributes. Here you can see that cost has a weight of 0.7, meaning cost was the most important attribute to the CFO, followed by ease of use and compatibility. Next, the Chief Information Officer was interviewed, and his top 3 attributes included ease of use, cost, and reputation of the system. After establishing levels within each attribute, the CIO rated each level and a weight was determined for each attribute. The weights were more evenly distributed, with the CIO with cost weighing 0.4 and both ease of use and reputation weighing 0.3. After gathering data from both experts, a group meeting was held. Both experts came to a consensus on what attributes were most important in the vendor selection, as well as attribute levels. 2 vendors are shown here that have the attributes the group felt were most important in selecting a system. The attributes were then assigned ratings and corresponding weights. In this model, cost is the most important with a weight of 0.5, followed by ease of use with a weight of 0.3. Compatibility is considered the least important out of these attributes with a weight of 0.2. Notice that the sum of the weights equals 1. Vendor B takes 2 minutes to enter the average patient encounter, which is the best in ease of use and is therefore given a rating of 100. Vendor A does the worst with 3 minutes to enter the average patient encounter and is therefore given a 0. Once all ratings are established for each attribute, the overall score for each vendor is ready to be calculated. For vendor A and vendor B, the overall score is calculated as a weighted sum of the ratings. For vendor A, the rating of 0 on ease of use is multiplied by the weight for ease of use, which is 0.3. The rating of 100 regarding cost is multiplied by the weight for cost, which is 0.5. The rating 100 for compatibility is multiplied by the weight of compatibility, which is 0.2. The overall score of 70 is the sum of the weighted rating. The same process is done with vendor B. After calculating both vendors' ratings, we can see that vendor A has the highest score. As a result, vendor A is the recommended vendor of information systems for the organization. The value of participatory selection to an organization is important. It provides a structured process that allows experts of the organization to establish a consensus on what attributes are most important. The process, which is what matters in this approach, allows all of the information collected to be appropriately analyzed and effectively used in the decision of a vendor. It also increases communication within the organization. The value of quantification is also important because numbers help organize and keep track of the important weight of different issues. In addition, the value of conducting one-on-one interviews with the experts before the group meeting is vital in the participatory selection process. The purpose of the one-on-one interviews is to define the preferences of the expert before the larger meeting. It allows the analyst to listen and quantify the expert's preferences for different types of vendors. Soliciting ideas during these one-on-one interviews is key to the success of the vendor selection process. Overall, participatory vendor selection is an excellent and organized approach to bringing a group of decision makers to a consensus regarding a vendor of information systems.